Emma, the Comeback Queen. This is dedicated to my brother and sister-in-law's first baby, Emma Winifred, who was born on July 1st, 2014. This was also based on the original long post that I wrote at Upswing Baby Names called Spotlight on Emma, the Comeback Queen. What makes Emma a comeback queen? Before we get into that, let's talk about Emma and her contemporaries. Emma is classified as a great-grandma revival name. These are names that have come back in style every 4 generations. These names often make the top 10, which isn't surprising since great-grandma revival names are often inspired by the family tree. Some of Emma's contemporaries include Sophia, Olivia, and Isabella. These have all been top names for the past few years, and as you can see here, these names make up the top 4 for 2013, which is the most recent year for name ranks from the Social Security Administration when I recorded this. What may not be obvious to everyone is what makes Emma different from her contemporaries, from the other names in the top 4. All top 4 names are revival names, but Emma is the only one that was equally popular the first and second time around, at least based on ranks, which I'll explain what I mean in further detail a little later. As you can see here, Emma was number 3 for most of the 1880s and reclaimed that spot again nearly 130 years later, peaking at number 1 in 2008 and remaining in the top 3 since 2003. As shown here, Sophia didn't even make the top 100 its first time in the sun. Sophia first peaked at number 116 in 1882. After declining to the low 600s in the 1930s, it came back and peaked at number 1 in 2011, where it has been for the past couple of years. Olivia first peaked just outside the 200s in the 1880s, but it didn't even make the top 200 until the 1980s. It gently declined during the mid-20th century, but never ranked lower than 543 back in 1971. It came back and peaked at number 3 in 2009. The following year, it dropped slightly to number 4, only to return to number 3 in 2013. Isabella has seen the most dramatic decline and resurrection. Isabella first peaked at 215 in 1880. After declining into obscurity, leaving the top 1,000 for 4 decades, Isabella came back bigger than ever and peaked at number 1 in 2009. Sophia, Olivia, and Isabella's past trends resemble a J on the line graph, showing how these names were moderately popular near the end of the 19th century, then declined, only to come back bigger than ever. Emma's past trends follow the U-curve, meaning Emma's rank at the end of the 19th century is close to its modern rank. In the name of accuracy, I should point out that rankings are only relative. Compared to the number of babies named Emma, the name was actually a lot more popular the first time around because fewer babies are given top names today. Emma's rankings then and now are similar, but the real numbers tell a different story, as you can see when comparing my graph of rankings to the baby name Wizard's graph of birth numbers per 1 million babies. But when we compare top revival names relative to each other, Emma is still the queen of revival names. Emma's contemporaries represent a modern revival style, but Emma is a true comeback. Emma's comeback might be in part inspired by pop culture. There are a couple of pop culture references credited with pushing Emma back into the top baby name ranks. The most recent is the 8th season finale of Friends, first aired in 2002, where Rachel gives birth to a baby girl that she names Emma. This could explain Emma's big leap from number 13 in 2001 to number 4 in 2002, but Friends can't be credited with popularizing Emma. Another possible cause of Emma's revival could be the 1996 Jane Austen-based period movie Emma, starring Gwyneth Paltrow. The timing could support Emma's leap from number 56 in 1996 to number 36 in 1997, a 20-spot jump. But again, that movie simply helped a name that was already on the rise. Here's an obscure reference. Back in the 80s, when I was around 11 or 12, I enjoyed reruns of a show called Kate and Allie in the Summer. The show revolved around two childhood friends, Kate and Allie, moving in together after their divorces. They moved into a New York City apartment along with their children. One of the children was named Emma. Back in 1984, when Kate and Allie first aired, Emma was refreshing on a teenager, when Lisa would have been the expected name. The Emma character was born in the 70s, around the same time Emma was at its lowest rank ever. Unlike Madison's popularity, which is almost single-handedly attributed to a self-named mermaid in a 1984 fantasy film, Emma's rise cannot be attributed to one single pop cultural reference. Something else contributing to Emma's success is Emily's success. Emily had been the #1 girl name from 1996 to 2007, only to get replaced by Emma in 2008. What's more telling are up-and-coming names that seem very similar to Emma, such as Emmeline, Emmy, and Gemma. All of these names are on the rise. This suggests that parents like Emma's sound and are looking for names like Emma, but different. For a girl's name, Emma has experienced a long stay at the top. Emma has a universally appealing, timeless style that could easily keep it among the top names for years to come.